Hi there. Day 3 of trying to make videos and put myself into positive headspace and believing that I have an interesting life. Today, my memory is feeling strange, so hopefully, I can remember all the things that I did today. I recently did have multiple concussions. I had about 6 concussions over a 6 month period, and my last one was in February, but it does have lasting effects. And I was also like hit in the head again afterwards, but wasn't to a point of concussion or re injuring. It was just like kind of it was painful and it lasted a day, thank God. But I still do deal with those issues that come out of concussion, like memory, mental health, focus, ability to look at screens, ability to, yeah, especially be on the computer. My eyes get a little fuzzy sometimes, and memory is just really challenged. Oh, and my ability to comprehend time. Like, I've always had like this issue of being late, and that's a very stressful issue for me. And I have learned that it is a symptom of ADHD because of brain development during stressful times and trauma. That it is, and ADHD and trauma do overlap. I have not been diagnosed for ADHD, and I won't claim it, but it's a neurodivergence, and I do have a neurodivergence. I think my neurodivergence is more so developed through trauma than through genetics, but I could be wrong because my family is unique. But anyway, so today was an interesting day. I woke up okay, in an okay mood. Last night, as I was making a video, the people who were in my house sent me a message like, "Hey, are you okay? The time is late." And I was like, my response was, "Yes, I'm going to make a video. I don't want to be disruptive to you all or keeping you awake. I don't want to distress you." And really, I'm not wanting to distress myself in distressing someone else, because they're I react to their responses to stress. So I think that the way that I had worded it kind of gave them a different impression that, okay, backing off a little bit more than the previous day. And currently it is before 10 o'clock, so I'm happy that it is earlier in the day. I wasn't so busy after, I keep calling it work, volunteering, and still just a volunteer at the church, but I do show up as frequently as I can. This morning we were preparing for our gala. This is our first annual gala, and we've been working really hard trying to get everything organized and planned out and selling tickets, and it's an event that we want to have a lot of fun with, and an event that we want to hopefully grow with. We do need a lot of money to be able to do our ministries, and I think that we do really great ministries. We have a drop-in center, we do meditation groups, we do scripture study groups, and a lot of our community that we support are unhoused individuals, and we practice radical hospitality, where we welcome them in and say, like, regardless of what situation you're in, what emotional state, the things that you've done. A lot of the people come like straight out of prison and into our church, regardless of which, we're going to offer Christ-like compassion. So we really want to be doing some fundraising for that, and that is where I am focused for a good chunk of my time is the gala. And yeah, so we were talking about that, and then I I got to the drop-in center a little later than I was hoping, but also not as late as I thought that I would be. So that works out great. And we did have a couple situations where people were getting upset, community members getting upset with each other, accusing of stealing, which is a very, very common thing, unfortunately, for people who are unhoused. A lot of their stuff gets stolen. They'll accuse each other because it's whoever's sitting nearest to them. Maybe they are someone who does it, maybe they're not, but that causes some drama. Bathroom usage, we don't have a lot of accessible washrooms in the city, and we have one washroom that is available for community members, and the washrooms in the Eaton Center are within walking distance close by, but a lot of people don't feel comfortable going to the Eaton Center to use their washrooms because security does kick them out. So where do they go to the washroom? In public, in all of these random places where if we smell human releases, it's because they're being rejected from places. Our city is not a safe place to need to go to the bathroom. And that's regardless of if you're unhoused or if you are housed, or especially for elderly people or mothers who are challenged with their whole internal bladder and urinary tract system. It's really frustrating that this is an issue. So that was one of the things. But other than that, things went fairly smoothly during service, all things considered. We did also have a question of whether someone had overdosed. There were moments where this person was unresponsive, then responsive, and kind of flowed in and out. So we kept an eye on him. At one point, paramedics were called just to be on the safe side because we care and we want this person to be healthy and okay. He was okay. We gave him some food, and he took a little nap, and things were okay. And then I did talk to a friend of mine who is from Iran, and her husband is still in Iran, and she is really stressed out because she's taking care of her kids here, and she's worried about her husband and her family, and they're all back home, and this whole situation with the wars and these missiles and fighting is just really, really hard on her. So I feel for her. I have a couple friends from Iran, and it sucks to know that people who you care about are in such immense, deep fear for their family's safety. I'm so sorry to all the refugees who are challenged with that. Then what happened today? The school that's nearby, the different schools are doing Frosh Week this week, so there was a lot of different excitement and activities, and one situation that was frustrating was that there was a bunch of posters for abortion, anti-abortion movements, and it's frustrating because we're seeing what's going on in the US and how children are being forced to have abortions, but we're not doing anything. Hold on. Yeah, so children are being forced to carry to term if they have been assaulted or raped by a family member, and so the fact that children are giving birth to children which their bodies have not developed in a way that they can carry and birth babies is terrifying. And there's these anti-abortion pushers who are coming and pushing into school campuses, and we don't know people's situations. I did have a point in my life where I had known people who had gotten abortions, and for me it felt like, but it could have been different, but like maybe there was different options or whichever. One of them did it, and I'm kind of glad she did, because she was young and naive, and shouldn't say naive, just was going through some stuff. And her partner had a history of abuse, and so she terminated, and yeah, it tore me up for a while because it was very close to me, and I saw how distressed she was. It was not an easy decision at all. The guy was like, well, no, he was like, at first I want an abortion, then he thought no, because that's life, but knowing him, he would not have been involved with that kid's life, and she would have just been stuck doing everything, and if they did stay together for a little while, it would have resulted pretty badly for her. So yeah, I was conflicted with that whole conversation, and then somebody set me straight. I had publicly like posted about it, like I don't know how to have a thought and a conversation about abortion, because it's just so complicated, and watching somebody in so much pain after this, like I can't fathom doing this. And yeah, somebody set me straight, told me their story, and how difficult it was, and I learned quite a bit. So that's, regardless of what your own individual thoughts are, the fact that we have a choice needs to be protected, because if it gets really bad for some people, I don't want that. So what's coming over here?